Hey, what's going on, everybody? We were going to come in here and talk about Brandon Aiyuk and all that stuff. We were having some technical difficulties, but yeah, I see the news. I right before we were coming on about Ricky Parasol being in Union Square. I'm from the East Coast, so I have no idea where Union Square is, but apparently he was shot in a robbery attempt. I hope he's okay and whoever he was with is okay. I honestly don't really care about football at this point because like that's really, really, really scary. There was some other athlete, I forgot what sport it was. The two brothers died in a bicycle accident, not too long ago. Like,
Yeah, NHL. Yeah,
yeah, so man, we got to remember these people are human beings, man, and just because they show up on our TV doesn't mean they live inside the TV. Uh, I called you Rich. Crazy, James, right? We're trying to
yeah,
figure out our technical side of things, and then that comes right across our timeline, man. Crazy, huh?
yeah. That's not it's not good for anybody. I mean, it's sad because he's a young rookie, and I don't know what it came down to, but I've been to Union Square. I used to hang out there with my dad, and I know there's been a lot of store robberies there. Like they had to close a lot of stores down there. Louis Vuitton store gets robbed all the time. They actually have a sign that says you can only steal up to $900 worth of stuff right outside of Louis Vuitton. That's how bad it's gotten. So it's not a great area right there. It's not a bad area though. It's like where all the tourists go. So I don't know why. Um, it doesn't matter where you are. If you're in the wrong place, wrong time, it could happen to anybody. But it's just sad. It's just great, rookie and looking forward to seeing this guy, and now here he is in stable condition in a hospital.
Yeah,
So
thanks for
not
the
good.
update, Rob D. I appreciate it because I'm not on. I mean, I can open Twitter, but man, it's funny. I was watching. No, it's not funny actually. I was watching something about political something politically motivated. It was I don't know if it was the chief of police of or the head of the the state. Everybody's got the New York State police and whatever. We got. I'm sure California has whoever it was. I don't know what department he was head of, but he was talking about how with some laws that came into effect with releasing criminals and stuff and all this other stuff that like California is just in such a bad way right now.
Yeah,
And he was taking shots at your mayor of California, Gavin Newsom.
yeah,
And it's funny. I'm watching that, and I don't like to dabble in politics too much because I think it divides people. It divides everybody. Everybody gets all angry and wants to say their thing or whatever. And then this happens literally like 10, 15 minutes before we're going live. So I kind of it's kind of scary that I was just watching something about how things are in California and how it's kind of a scary place to live right now because of
yeah,
certain moves done in the political office, allowing certain things to happen. And then you have a young, promising rookie who we really haven't seen much of now all of a sudden in stable condition. Um, Sentinel says it's bad, Aaron. Bro, listen, I live, and James knows this, like Rochester, the city of Rochester is,
yeah.
there's murders every day, but you kind of,
Downtown, no go.
yeah, like I don't go downtown
No.
because you could just drive downtown and get shot and killed for no reason, just if you're in the middle of some neighborhood where there's some sort of drug or some sort of like land thing going on where somebody stepped in someone else's yard or something.
Yeah,
And I mean, it's just every day there's people get killed. So, but
yeah. I can kind of explain my
yeah, go ahead.
theory. Like this might be way off on what happened, but back in when I lived there, Union Square, even the downtown San Francisco area. Downtown's pretty big for San Francisco. It's not huge, but Union Square is right in the middle of it. It's right off Powell Street, and Powell Street used to be a very vibrant, uh, full of people. I mean, it was like New York City. You'd walk up that street, and there's just people everywhere. Ever since COVID, it's kind of slowed down. But my point is, back in the day when I was there, people from Oakwood would come over and rob rich people in San Francisco. Now, I don't know if that has anything to do with it or if it was just a random act or the Tenderloin too. which is a really bad neighborhood, about 2 blocks down from Union Square. I used to live there, and it would be funny. You'd see these tourists, with nice clothes on. They look like wealthy people. They don't know where they're going, and they turn one corner. They go from Union Square to Tenderloin, and they're like, "Holy crap, where did I just go?" And Tenderloin is not a good spot to be in. Um, I lived there. I lived there. I know it. I used to live on Jones and O'Farrell, which is bad, bad. So I'm just hoping like nothing crazy. I hope Ricky's just okay. It's just Union Square is not a bad area. That's why I'm like, why there? And um, I don't know. I just hope he's not getting into anything. Like I remember back when Alden Smith was getting in all
Yeah.
that trouble, and I think he got hurt or something too through something. But I just hope it's nothing serious that he's getting involved in. Everything's a rumor right now. We don't know anything. So yeah, I hope he's all right.
Man, like I said, there was that thing that happened in the NHL where two brothers passed away in a bike accident, which is really sad. And this stuff happens I forgot what happened during the off season. I forgot what team the brother played for, or a guy played for. I think it might have been Minnesota. Some a defensive back, somebody passed away. These kind of things happen in sports, right? They are human beings, and just kind of sad because we've all been dying to see the cat, right? And now it's just like we don't even care about football. We just want to make sure he's okay. Like we were going to come on here and talk about how the Brandon Ayuk situation is finally finished, and maybe Trent Williams is next, and this, that, and the other, and then this happens. It kind of like makes everything else meaningless. Uh,
Yeah,
let's
I'm
see
not
here.
seeing any updates yet. See,
Peter Parker says this is another reminder you almost don't want to go anywhere, man. Stay faithful where you're at. I'd never leave the house ever, other than going to work and maybe going to the grocery store to buy food. That's it. And I work at a grocery chain, so does me and James from the same company. So I tend to shop at the end of my shift. So technically, I really never leave the house instead of, or only when I'm working. I don't trust going in public anymore. Like restaurants, no. The beach, anywhere. Like there's a place around here called Charlotte. A lot of people like to
oh,
go up there, rev their cars up, act a fool, and there's always
yeah,
something going on. There's always
Charlotte's
good
just a bunch of
people
stuff
mixed in
going
with a
on.
bunch of pieces of trash. And I hope it wasn't because he was noticed, like people knew who he was, and this was just a random act. I would hate to think that he was targeted because he's Ricky Parasol and he plays for the San Francisco 49ers. But yeah, prayers up to Ricky and his family. I almost feel stupid uh and wanting to talk about anything else.
Yeah, I get what you're
Reports
saying.
he was shot in the shoulder or collarbone area. Oy.
Well, at least
Uh,
that's not fatal.
they were
You
trying to get
know.
his Rolex. Is that a real thing, or did you just add that in? I'm not trying to be mean or anything. I just want to make sure that that's legit. I don't want to report anything on here that didn't happen.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take that down. I can't get that. I can't edit the way that looks for some reason, so it's like really blocky.
I know it's huge.
It takes
I
up the
don't know.
whole screen.
I'm looking.
Let's
I'm
see
trying to
here.
look through Twitter and all of my sources. Let's see. NBC Sports. Here we go. Here's all. Yeah, I don't know where people are getting this because I don't see any of that.
It's funny because I wanted to show there was a real cool picture that was taken the other day, and
Yeah,
it was all the offensive linemen with Brock Purdy at a barbecue at his house, and I wanted to talk about team chemistry and how important it is and all that stuff. Cap, I mean, I'm
yeah.
not trying to. I believe you. He says
No,
reports were
yeah.
shot.
I just saw it. So this was Sean Cunningham for SFPD. 49ers Ricky Purcell shot through the chest. But this one says through the chest in a robbery attempt over a Rolex. He was headed to a signing event on Gurion Market. There was a struggle for the gun. Both Ricky and the suspect were shot. Both parties stable at SF General Hospital. That's per Sean Cunningham, who uh, is on Twitter.
After the Brandon Aiyuk contract stuff with all the false sources going around everywhere, it's hard to, and I know you guys understand this, it's hard to like believe any source
Yeah,
about anything because Twitter is essentially just this real toxic, like, I want to get some hits on my channel, even if they're negative. So I'm waiting for the Matt Mayokas and the Matt Barrows of the world to come out with some news. Like I got it from my guy Raj from RSF 49ers. He posted it on his Twitter because Raj is the man and Raj is a good guy. That's one person who will never put up anything just to get engagement. So Raj is a good guy. But let me see. Let me pop up Twitter myself. Uh,
yeah, I'm new to Twitter, so, but
um,
I still know about it, and there's just so many people on there that post stuff.
yeah,
It's
Twitter is
you
not
never know.
real. He was shot over a Rolex watch in broad daylight. Like, okay. Yeah, Sean Cunningham. I got the same one.
Yep.
He was headed to a signing event on Geary and Market Street. There was a
Yeah, that's
struggle
right.
for the gun. Both Ricky and the suspect were shot. Both pet parties stable at San Francisco General Hospital. Okay, so apparently he was going to a signing event. Man, that's crazy.
He was probably going to Nike Town, or is that Nike Town? I don't know if Nike Town's still there. I can't remember, but it probably was Nike Town right on Geary.
For the person in the comments who asked about where he would go on IR, I honestly, Papa J, I don't know. Yeah, it's not disrespectful to ask that. I have no idea what they
Yeah,
would do and if they would bring somebody up. It all depends. I mean, we got what till next Monday night before the season starts, so I'm sure we're going to get a flood of updates from all your famous Twitter YouTubers, whatever. So just be on the lookout for that. Not just my channel, but whoo. Sentinel says he's so mad right now. Yeah, man.
yeah.
World sucks. World
I
sucks,
mean, come
man.
on, you know, brand new
I
guy in
wouldn't
the
even have
league. Come
struggled.
on.
I would have just passed off the jewelry. That's just me. I don't wear jewelry, so I don't stand out. I don't wear a watch. I don't do any of that. But man,
I actually have a best friend. One of my best friends was shot over a cell phone, and in San Francisco, and it was horrible, man. I was going to hang out with him that night, and I still think about that. What if I was there? And
right?
you never know what's going to happen. These guys just jumped out of a van, and my friend was with two friends, and all of a sudden these guys pulled guns on him. Said, "Give me your phone," and he wouldn't give them the phone,
Oh, I would totally give
and
people my stuff.
and yeah, and they shot him. Um, but he was that kind of guy that just wouldn't. He wouldn't give in to anything. You
Like if,
know.
if there was no weapons involved, I might, try to throw hands on somebody. But if I got a piece of jewelry that somebody wants, my life is way more important than a piece of jewelry or a phone. Ah, man. Kind of puts a damper on the whole Brandon Ayuk news.
It does. I think
Um,
just messed up.
I'm gonna come back to this. I'm not gonna forget about it. Okay, so I don't even know how to do this. I don't like. Man, I don't want to get called out on here for being insensitive. Um, so yeah, Brandon Ayuk, 49ers
Yeah,
finally got him re-signed
finally.
4 years, 120 million. So that's an average of about 30 million per. He's not the highest by any stretch. He's in the Tyreek Hill kind of conversation in the neighborhood. So I would love to know who blinked first and I would love to know who was responsible for all of this back and forth and the reports and all that stuff. I know a lot of people were trying to make their name off of this particular situation. There was people in the Pittsburgh Steelers fan base who were putting out reports. There were people in our own 49er Twitter, YouTube verse with supposed sources, people that make songs and people that have channels. Turns out nobody has sources. Uh, like I said, wait for the professionals to report stuff. Wait for the real Adam Schefter and all those guys to report stuff. I don't believe anybody anymore. I have to watch, like, if I'm gonna go live on TikTok or put a video on TikTok or YouTube, I double check that thing like 20 times to make
Mm.
sure it's a real story. And sometimes, hey, if I'm late and I'm not the first person to put it up there, I really don't care as long as I have the correct information. But man, um, he looked happy. He was there with his wife. He's got himself some generational wealth. The cap hit this year saves the Niners about $8 million. I think the signing bonus, at least for this particular season, is around 50 million, 45, 50 million. So he's getting a little bit of pocket change just to go on. To me, if I was a professional athlete, I would never touch my salary. I would live off of guaranteed money or whatever. So, what was your thoughts when it finally happened? I know you've been just like, man, I want this to happen so we could just get on with the season.
Yeah,
Same thing with Trent Williams. That hasn't happened yet. But how happy were you when you saw that news come across your telephone?
I was very happy. I think every 49er fan's been waiting for this to finally get our number one receiver back, you know. After all the rumors and all the back and forth, we finally get him. And I kind of I thought he was gonna want even more than that. Um, eh, you see Jefferson got paid, I think, like what, 35, 40 a year. So, I'm glad we got him. It's still a lot of money. But I'm happy. I actually watched his highlights from last year with my dad, um, right after we signed him. And I was like, well, look at these highlights. I think he was worth it. The way he just, what really I love about Ayuk is how far he gets away from the defender. He
Yes.
can shake anyone, and he shakes them good because he makes them look foolish. There'll be a guy right on him, and the next thing you know, that guy doesn't even know where Ayuk went. So I think definitely worth the money, and I'm very happy.
To anybody that just joined, I'm very aware of the Ricky Pearsall situation. We spent about probably 18 minutes on it. I will return to it. Like I said, I'm very aware. We're trying to kind of make it a lighter conversation until we know more. But yeah, I'm very aware of the situation. According to Cap, he says Debo just tweeted now Pearsall is good. So hey, I'll take it. It's his teammate. His teammate knows more than we do. So, like I said, I'm not putting anything up on the screen unless I know for sure. But yeah, we're definitely keeping him in our thoughts right now as we talk about Brandon Ayuk, another wide receiver. The whole thing with the Brandon Ayuk situation, I think a lot of people probably are be like, "Oh, Aaron, didn't you say that there's nothing he does that can't be replaced?" Yeah, I said that. Like he's a really good receiver, but like there's echelons to this receiving thing, Devontae Adams, Justin Jefferson, guys like that. Like I think he's a really good receiver, but I don't know if I would put him in the same s- space or the same, like group as like the top 5. I would say he's more of a top 10. I would say right around 8 to 10. Is he an incredible route runner? Yes. He's not a game changer in the sense like Debo or Kittle or even Christian McCaffrey. Like Christian McCaffrey, you game plan for, right? Debo, when Debo doesn't play, our offense looks anemic, right? And Kittle, when they actually use him as a receiver and not a blocker, he's a game changer as well. So my whole thing with Brandon Ayuk is that I didn't want the 49ers to overspend or be bullied into making an offer that they thought was, ridiculous. And so this seems kind of like a middle ground thing to me because the initial offer was right around $26 million. And there was a report that he was good with 28. So this is kind of seems like maybe they finally got to a number they were both comfortable with. For the people saying that he needs to come out and just like ball out and be crazy, like, don't be ridiculous. Like, we went through this with Nick Bosa and everybody else, and there was all this drama during Nick Bosa's contract stuff. He didn't sign until a week before the season. So I hope he comes in and doesn't hurt himself because he hasn't been practicing and all that stuff. Hopefully he's been staying in shape. I know Debo during his contract negotiations got out of shape and he was not as reliable and he wasn't as great of shape coming into that season when he got his bag. But we will see. We definitely will see. There was a there was a tweet that I saw earlier to show just what kind of contracts the 49ers are putting out there right now to players. Let's see if I can find it. All right. So I don't have this on the screen, but here it is. Brandon Aiyuk, 30 million annually. Nick Bosa, 34 million annually. Debo Samuel, 23.85 annually. Trent Williams, 23 annually. Hargrave, 21 annually. Fred Warner, 19 million annually. Let's see what Christian McCaffrey's number is. 19 million, and George Kittle, 15 million. This is all for the 2024 salary
That's a
cap.
lot of money.
So
That's
for
a
people
lot of
saying that
freaking
the
money.
49ers don't pay, that's a lie. They do pay. They pay a lot of money, and they usually pay fair market value. This isn't the Jed York when he first got involved after DeBartolo was sent packing for his gambling stuff, and we had to essentially gut this team to zero after whatever, all that. So, yeah, Ricky Parasol, we talked about that. Where I'm staying on it. Yes, he did get shot. What the hell? We talked about that for a bit. So far, the only report is he's in guarded condition, or is it guarded or stable condition? Leon Sandcastle said it's a flesh wound. Hopefully, we'll get some more information on that one. Peter Parker, I think he disagrees with me a little bit. It says he can shake anybody, and he's the best blocking wide receiver in the game. Right. I'm down with all that stuff. I'm just saying, as a pure pass catcher, like, there's guys that I would pick ahead of him. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, if you put you shouldn't use this metaphor, but if you, I'm trying to think. I probably shouldn't put a gun to my head, but there's just guys that I would pick over him. Devontae Adams and Justin Jefferson are two of them. That's
think
just me. I think Tyreek Hill is really dangerous.
Yeah.
Think about how dangerous Tyreek Hill is with his speed. Like, he is what you call a game changer. I'm not saying that he's not worthy of like top 10 money. That's not it. That's all I'm trying to say.
Aiyuk's almost there, though. He's getting better every year. Aiyuk stats has gotten better every year. If he keeps getting better with his stats, I mean, he's going to be up there with Jefferson and them. But yeah, I get what you're saying, Aaron. He doesn't. I'll just name some scenarios. So, game changer. Debo always catches that one catch where we're down 7 points, 3 points, whatever, or it's tied, and he gets that one catch and just flies down the field, and we're winning. And then you got Kittle, for instance, against Saints a few years ago, where he just had 4 guys on him, and he's running down the field with all these guys on him. And if it wasn't for that play against the Saints, we wouldn't have won that game.
Right.
Aiyuk, I think the game-changing play he had, though, Aiyuk did have one of the biggest plays of the season, was Detroit with that crazy catch.
It was an underthrown ball, and he stayed with it.
And he stayed with it. And so in that sense, he has a little bit of game changer, but I get what you're saying, Aaron, where he's not like, all these other players we have who have proven that they make that clutch play. You know, that Aiyuk has made some, like that Detroit one, but until he's like, you know, making crazy plays that win games and stuff, he's not right there yet. But he's a great receiver. I mean,
Right.
great
And
receiver.
I just
Top
want
10.
people to be like, "Oh, well, you're hating on him or he deserves the bag." Yeah, I totally agree on all that stuff.
Yeah. Oh
I'm
yeah.
just saying, like, Jerry Rice was a game changer. Randy Moss was a game changer. Guys who can tilt the game to a place where, like, they can make it all about them. Like, remember, I don't know if you guys were alive for any of you were alive for this, but the night Jerry Rice broke the all-time touchdown record against the Raiders, the first Monday night game of the 94-95 season where we won the Super Bowl that year. I mean, think about the accomplishment of him scoring that many touchdowns, and at that point was about, let's see, he was drafted, I think, in '85. He had been in the league about 10 years, and he'd shattered records. That's a game changer. I mean, coverages had to be tilted towards his side of the field, and it would make guys like John Taylor or Brent Jones or other players have to beat him. Aiyuk doesn't quite have that skill set, or he isn't that level of a receiver. But at the same time, I'm saying he does deserve to get paid. But you got to pay. You can't be bullied into paying something that you don't agree with. Teams have numbers on certain guys, and they're not going to go above that. And to me, that's sports is a business. If you just pay everybody what they want, that's bad business. You have to have some sort of, like, I don't know, unfortunately with athletes, you have to treat them as commodities or pieces of property. That's what they are in professional sports. I hate to sound like, like a really bad guy, but like that's just how it is in sports. So like when I look at the 49ers team, the one guy that I think is the most game changer of them all is Christian McCaffrey. He should have been the MVP last year. He was what, the offensive player of the year. He's on the cover of Madden. I mean, Christian McCaffrey makes this offense into probably one of the most unstoppable offenses in the National Football League. And in fact that, we're talking about one of the guys that could be part of that in Ricky Pearsall, who has been reportedly shot in the shoulder and is in stable condition. He's part of that whole awesome group. It's funny, I saw a tweet earlier today that had all the different guys like Cowen and Debo and, Juwan Jennings, Aiyuk, Pearsall, even Chris Conley, Ronnie Bell. It's a dangerous group of receivers, and I think the Niners are going to be really good this year. Let's just hope Ricky Pearsall is okay. But it's going to be a fun season if everybody stays healthy. I think the Niners really, other than the teams like maybe like the Detroit Lions or the Green Bay Packers, I think the 49ers have a chance to get right back to where they were last year. You just wonder with all these contract holdouts and everything that's going on, does it affect them to start the season? I think the Ricky Pearsall thing definitely could affect them, especially if he's is in a bad way and it could affect him permanently. So for all you guys that are out there that are 49er fans, put your prayers up for Ricky Pearsall. We're talking about Brandon Aiyuk. We're trying to lighten the mood here, but we're definitely not forgetting about him.
Yeah, I guess London Breed, the mayor of San Francisco, just made a statement that he was shot. SFPD was immediately on the scene, and arrest of the shooter was made. So the
Okay.
shooter got arrested. Um, there will be more updates. So yeah, and somebody says, yeah, you'll probably let him out in a few days anyway.
Yeah, that's the
That's
sad
a,
part about the things.
that's the sad part about our justice system. It's horrible.
Yeah, they have
Um,
like they have like these things where it'll be like, it gives them like 3 shots before they're put in jail permanently, and they could
yeah,
steal like all sorts of stuff. When I watch those
horrible.
businesses have people just walk in and just rip stuff off the shelf and walk out, I have to contain my anger because if that was like in the old school or the old country, like my mom is from Sicily, somebody probably they would have shot the perpetrator like
Oh
that
yeah,
because it's your business. That's how you make your money. You don't eat if you don't get paid. You know what I mean?
yeah.
it's not like if you work for like a chain or a massive company, like you're still going to get paid. If it's like a personal run business, say like a restaurant or a bakery or like a little market grocery store that's run by a family over generations, and somebody comes in there and starts doing that, there's a good chance someone's probably going to get offed. So I just hope the kid's okay, man, because like his career hasn't even started, and he's so young. And it's been probably a hard off season for him with all the injuries and stuff. But we don't care about that right now. We care about the person and the who is responsible for this, and of course Ricky Pearsall himself. Um, Trent Williams still isn't signed. Are you worried that he's not going to be signed before the start of the season? I'm not. I think they're going to get him. I think they're going to get him paid very shortly. I would say early this week, maybe Monday. But they can't win without Trent Williams, can they, James?
No, they need him. I'm kind of caught in the middle. I don't know if he's going to get signed because I saw this source. I don't know if it's true or not, but they said the process for getting him signed is going to take a little while. I don't know why, but they said the process takes a little while for him to get re-signed. But I don't know if that's true. So that source said that he probably wouldn't start week one if we even signed him. But if we do, it could be just like some of these other players. They just wanted to relax and take some time off, kick their feet up for a little bit because they know they're that good, and then get signed the day before the season starts and play the first game. So, and that's Trent Williams. He could just be chilling, having a margarita right now and just be like, all right, well, I'll sign, the day before the season because Trent Williams is the best, man.
Yeah.
He knows he's the best. I mean, we need him. We definitely need him. What I fear is that we don't get him and Purdy's running for his life.
Right.
And that's
Yeah, the preseason
that's
was
my biggest
super
fear.
scary about how
Yeah.
bad the pass protection was.
Yeah.
Ginaldo, I deleted that comment, man. Come on, man. Let's not be childish and saying that, Cowing shot him for third stringer or whatever you just put up there, man. Be smarter than that, buddy. All right. Jeez. Apparently he got shot twice, once in the back and once in the chest. He's in critical but stable condition. Jesus.
Was he in critical but stable? That's I don't know. Papa
I don't
J.
know.
Clarify, Papa J.
We got so many different reports. Kristen Moran Keller is a stable is stable and gave a report to the police. He was shot through his arm. It's called through and through. Confirmed Pearsall is okay. Suspect appears to be shot in the chest. Okay. I'm just looking through different things here.
Yeah, that's the other thing we don't really get when you're a star like that. You cannot. I don't think you should be flashy. I'm not saying this is
No.
Pearsall's fault, but you got to watch it, man. I mean, you have all that money. You're definitely going to have a target on your back. Any of these stars, you know. I'm surprised it doesn't happen more frequent. Um, but I'm not saying it's his fault or anything. Definitely not his fault. He got shot, but um, you know, these guys got to watch it. There's people out there trying to take him down. You know.
According to Raj, RSF 49ers, this was about 20 minutes ago. He said shot through the chest in a robbery attempt. And then a couple reports say he was able to give a statement. So it looks like he might be okay. I'm just gonna keep refreshing Twitter here every time I see somebody put something in the chat because I'm not shot in the chest or Bolter stable. There's lots of reports saying he's stable, but I'm still really worried. Still really worried. Not gonna lie. Big time worried for the kid for sure. Um, so
Yeah, I'm trying to see what's going on too, but it's all the same right now.
What do you think about as we kind of change the subject a little bit as we till we get more information? The whole situation with Talanoa Hufanga, he seems like he's practicing aiming at a week 1 start, but the 49ers did sign a safety a couple days ago. Tracy Walker, former Lion, was signed,
Yeah,
and a lot of people, including me and Raj, think that might point to maybe like being inactive week 1, or maybe I'm starting the season on the pup list. I actually really don't know. I would love for him to be on the field, but he's coming back from a knee injury last year, and
yeah,
those things. It's not like the old days where if you get a knee injury, your career is essentially over. They've gotten so much better at these knee operations and all this stuff. Like back in the '90s, if you blew your ACL or whatever out, it was a hard go to come back. So I really hope Talanoa Hufanga's back. I think the Niners have a really good young group of safeties with him, Mustafa and Jair Brown, and even Odom to some extent. He's more of a special teams veteran guy, but still. Any thoughts on Talanoa Hufanga possibly making his way back?
well, yeah, I'm very glad he's back. I remember when he first got on our team, I told everybody, and they didn't believe me, that that guy's going to be a beast. I watched his film at USC, and that guy was on the ball so fast and just attacked. And he's been like that his whole career. So I'm very happy that he's going to be hopefully back. I heard he was taken off the active PUP list, the PUP list, because he would be inactive for the first 4 weeks if he was still on it. So they
Hmm.
had to take him off of it. So that means that he's on our roster, but he could be just on a 1 game injured list or 2 game injured list, depending on his injury.
If you
Um, I think
if you're going to
I
be
think
on
he will be back.
if you're going to be on any type of a short term IR, I think it's 4 games at least. So
Yeah,
minimum.
so they must have him just on the roster, and he's probably just injured. But I don't know.
Stop reporting and just pray for the young man. Yeah, definitely. Uh, Debo, yeah, I saw the tweet. Debo says he's good. Thank God. Oh man, I just want to get a confirmed report of exactly where he was shot and what his actual condition is, as far as like if it's stable or whatever. Because like in the chat, it says um, he says he's getting reports he's in critical condition. It might be just who you follow. I'm not trying to call anybody out, but try to stick with the big time guys if you want to get accurate reports. Um, Jimmy from down the block, who
Hmm.
just your neighbor, probably doesn't know it's best for the 49ers, so I wouldn't report or be swayed by their tweets. Let's see here.
God, I'm looking at some of these comments on his uh, reports. It's just sickening. I'm like, people are making a joke out of it.
Of course,
Can't stand it.
that's the world we live in now. Everything's a big
Yeah,
joke.
I just can't stand it.
People are
Like the
so
guy got shot. Jeez. Oh my God.
let's I'm continuing to refresh my Twitter.
Yeah, I'm looking at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm gonna look on. You know what I'm gonna look on? I'm gonna look on our news in San
Somebody
Francisco.
somebody just tweeted, I don't know, maybe let the news stations and those closest to Ricky Parasol situation report what's true. Just a thought.
Yeah, yeah,
100%
that's
Sid the Catfish, the guy's name is kind of a that's kind of a weird name for Twitter. I don't know if I want to listen to what he had to say. Shout out to Chase Senior. Yeah, Chase Senior is good too. Um, what else can we talk about here? Uh, I wanted to bring up this Greg Jennings video for anybody. I know a lot of you guys probably don't care right now because of what's going on with Pearsall. But essentially, Greg Jennings, former Packers wide receiver, doesn't have the 49ers making the playoffs. I'll play the video and then we can talk about it. Kind of dumb. Kind of dumb. Let's see here.
These are my 7 teams in the AFC and the NFC. It is what it is. And if you notice, I know there's no glitch.
There's no Jags.
There's no glitch on your screen. I want you to really focus on who's not represented.
No Bills.
In the NFC.
No Jags.
And the AFC. There's
no
no
Niners.
49ers. What is Greg doing? You know what?
Yeah, I'm wondering, what
you know
are
what?
you doing?
Everyone is so bullish on the Niners. And I thought to myself, I really like the Niners. I love that they got Aiyuk done. There's just a little bit too much going on right now, and I think Brock Purdy's dealing with that and not going to handle that great. So we'll see. They may be on the outside looking in. I also feel like they're an older team, going to struggle with being healthy all season long. That's why I had to leave them out. You see, I got the Bears in there in the AFC. Yep, I got to respect to the Bears. In the AFC,
Colts.
yes, I had to put the Colts in there. I am a believer in Anthony Richardson. It was tough for me to even put the Dolphins in there because I tickled with your Jags.
Oh.
There might be 3 out of the South, but I was like, I can't.
Can
do
I
it.
ask
had
about
no
the Bills not
Bills,
being
right.
No
there?
Bills.
So that's the one that jumped out to me.
Yeah.
In the AFC.
So here's my deal on the Bills. I just feel like right now with Josh Allen, I don't know.
There's more to that. I don't want to watch it anymore. That is
That's
so irritating.
just-
They
he
gave
just did
anybody
that
a
to get-
microphone. And the
yeah.
fact that he's sitting next to Nick Wright, the biggest freaking nerd in television today, he's essentially Grant Cohn, but with a bigger platform.
Greg Jennings
Unbelievable.
was a good wide receiver for a while, and then he just went down the drain, and it's showing now.
Probably has little effects from CTE going on. Hey,
Yeah.
Peter Parker says he's got the Bears and the Colts. That's all we need to know.
Yeah,
Where did
The
they? Why
Bears.
are these people on television? Why are these people on television? Nothing they do is based in fact. It's all based in just feelings.
Yeah.
Like Nick Wright, I mean, he's a Chiefs homer. He's annoying looking. He's probably got his books spilled in school every day. Somebody probably smacked his books out of his hand like on a consistent basis, gave him wedgies, probably hung him in his own locker, shut the door, swirlies, all you. So he's got to be that annoying. He's got to be that annoying douche on television. You know, he's got to be the national Grant Cohn. And then we have Greg Jennings, middle of the road, decent wide receiver in the NFL for years, pretty productive. That's all you got to know. That's all you got to know. It's pretty lame, pretty sad.
I think that was a horrible report. Horrible.
Oh, it was horrible.
I think
Did you see the one from Manti Te'o a couple days ago?
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah,
Oh, that's even
He's
worse.
he's just blurting stuff out to get attention. That's all it is.
Peter
That's all it
Parker.
is.
Hey, Peter Parker says, I honestly don't know what to expect this season. Yeah, like the one thing I will agree with on him and that stupidity that he just spewed was that, you know, they are an older team and there's a lot of drama on this offseason. Could the Niners start slow and be a wild card team this year? Absolutely. I used to think that it was a given that you had to have the number 1 seed in order to get to the Super Bowl, which it proved right, but the Niners struggled in the playoffs, in the divisional and in the conference championship game at home. So last year kind of swayed me a little bit. Like maybe they don't need home field advantage. Maybe they should be the wild card team and go on the road. I honestly don't know. I think with the type of season they had last season and like having that time off before the playoff game, I think it hurt them a lot. But still, based on this being an older team, based on them having a lot of deep runs in the playoffs, I think getting the number 1 seed is the most important. It's sad that there's only one team that gets it now. I still miss the fact that there was 2 teams that get the week off, but I get so sick of watching those kind of people on. I don't watch sports television because of that.
It's all
I
for
watch
attention.
I watch a
All for
little
attention.
NFL Network, but only during the season. I don't, because they
It
were
just-
replaying the Super Bowl on NFL Network after the Super Bowl, so there was no point to watch that channel either.
Oh God.
Yeah, that was bad. I don't even really want to go into too much more on that. Gonna go back to Twitter and see if we could find anything else out on Ricky Parasol
Yeah,
here.
I just went through all the Bay Area news websites. It's all pretty much the same.
Chase Senior has some heated words. He says, "You'll clean up the city when China comes to town, but once they dip, all
Yeah.
good." What a
Yeah.
joke! I'm tired of the hypocrisy and bullshit from crooked politicians. And if you disagree, wake up. Ricky Parasol nearly got killed in broad daylight over a Rolex. It doesn't have to be this. Doesn't have to be this
Yes.
way. I think you're saying.
Yeah. So what happened was, I don't know if you know about this, but this was at least 6 months ago, maybe even a year ago. The Chinese president came to San Francisco. The mayor and the governor, Gavin Newsom, completely cleaned the city. The city was never cleaner than that in years. They hid the homeless people in hotels. They cleaned the streets for the first time. I mean, squeaky clean. And just because this Chinese president was in town. Now, when he leaves town, back to normal. All the homeless people were out. All the trash was everywhere. All the needles were on the floor. Um, and I was mad about it too. I don't even live there anymore. But when I heard that, I'm like, that's ridiculous. Why does it take some rich uh, communist president come here and then the city's clean? So I get the frustration. Um, the crime in San Francisco, actually, I know people are going to think this is false, but actually, the 70s, the crime in San Francisco is way worse than it is now. The 70s was probably the worst time in San Francisco's history in crime. My mom grew up in San Francisco. The 70s, people were getting shot every day in San Francisco. Um, but now it's still bad. Um, crime in San Francisco is probably worse than it has been in a little while, but it's not the worst it's ever been. Um, if any old timers are listening to this, you know it was bad back in the day. 70s, 80s, San Francisco was very, we'll just say, divided. So,
Man,
um,
I just saw a tweet. Somebody's going in on Travis King, the wannabe rapper. He made a
yeah,
point to not. He said, "Don't listen to any other tweets or any other news. He's closer to this than anybody else, apparently, because of where he lived or something." I really hate when people try to use tragedy to make themselves be some sort of like big shot on Twitter and get clicks. I don't already like the
yeah,
guy because he made false reports with the whole situation with Brandon Aiyuk saying he had sources and he knew that things were going to happen. And it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And now this tweet, I can't even bring it up. I'll see. He says, this is what he says. He says, my source is the San Francisco police on scene. I don't give an F what tweet you read from anyone else. Nobody on Twitter is closer to this situation than me. And I promise you that. That's Travis King. And we had somebody just tweet him, seriously, man, you're ruining any goodwill you had. Delete this and apologize. BS sources, unless you think they're better than what Debo has. So there you go. Somebody trying to make
sure.
their name on Twitter based off of, their own
Somebody
personal
getting
feelings about
shot.
something.
Yeah. Ugh,
Crazy,
that's
crazy,
horrible.
crazy.
Yeah, I just think it's
I
ridiculous.
think I must have pissed a lot of people off when I talked about Travis King. I'm sorry. Debo says Puracel's okay. Peter Parker says, I'm more afraid of a Super Bowl hangover than just to replay 2020. Yeah, that's kind of what it is. Just like it it's so emotionally draining to lose two of them. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I think that more than anything is what could affect this team. Maybe just not having that drive to go through it again this year. I mean,
Well, it's a lot. It's a lot of depression. I mean, that's depressing to lose come so close twice, and
right.
then, I wouldn't. I'm not going to say Greg Jennings had any kind of correct knowledge right there. But I'm just saying the Niners probably are going to start slow because of that. That damn, we lost the Super Bowl. It sucks. I feel it. I know the Niners feel it, and it's a drowning feeling that we came that close again. So I just hope that all this drama ends. Now Ricky Pearsall got shot. Aiyuk got signed. Trent Williams got signed. Just end all the drama already, and let's get some football going and see what we can do. I just hope Ricky Parcells is okay. He, the young kid doesn't deserve this. Um,
I don't know why Awesome Fox would put rest in peace Pearsall. He's not dead. It's been reported that he's in stable condition, so I don't know where you're grabbing your news from. Peter Parker says 2 double-digit leads in 2 different Super Bowls and couldn't get it done. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they were not like safe leads though, Peter Parker. They
Well,
were like
here's the thing. I yelled at the TV. The only way you beat the Chiefs is by losing in the first half. And I yelled that for the first half, the whole first half. Please lose in the first half. That's the only way you're going to beat the Chiefs. And when we were leading at the first half, I'm like, fuck, this is not good. Because they always come back. And look what fucking happened. And I'm so sick of that. The Lions beat them in the first game of the season last year. They came back. The Bengals beat them that one year in the playoffs, and then went to the Super Bowl. They were behind them and came back against the Chiefs. You have to beat the Chiefs at their own game.
Yep.
The only way you're going to beat them. And right when we were leading the first half, I'm like, oh shit, here we go.
Long snapper Tabor Pepper just tweeted that he's glad that Debo's okay. So pay attention to the teammates, people. Pay attention to the teammates.
Yeah, I'm looking at.
Don't pay attention to anybody else. You got Grant Cohen saying, I'm hearing that Ricky was shot twice, once in the back and once in the chest. You got people saying that's horrible reporting. Don't listen to anybody who has any type of poll in the Twitter or YouTube verse. I'm even talking about myself. Don't listen to me. Go find it out for yourself. Go pay attention to the players. Pay attention to the beat reporters that know stuff more than anybody else. Anybody with anything to gain off of this, to make their name be bigger, is the worst.
I don't know if this is a legit source. Who's Kirsten Moran? Something. What's her name? Christian Moran Keller, sports anchor and reporter of Fox 40. I don't know if this is true though, but she said he shot through his arm.
Yeah, there's been reports he's shot in his chest, clavicle, his back. Like, there's.
Yeah, I had no idea where he was
all I
shot.
want is accurate reporting. So that's the worst part about this is you're getting 7,000 different people telling you the same thing, but in different ways. So
here we go.
Let's see here.
NBC Bay Area. Here we go. Here's a legit source. They just updated it. Suspect is in custody and Ricky is in stable condition. His office has been in touch with Central Command. And then it just goes to what the mayor said, what I said earlier. Yeah, it's just what the mayor said, which was the arrest for the shooter was made, which is good.
Dr. Narav Pandya, I'll says typically a through and through, which is when the bullet goes through and leaves. Gunshot would indicate that the bullet has left an entry and exit wound. Usually this means that key structures, i.e. bone, are minimally, if at all, impacted as the bullet did not strike these areas. Hopefully he's doing well. That was 16 minutes ago. Dr. Nirav Pandya. He's, if you're going to, I mean, anybody in the Bay Area knows, anybody who does YouTube or Twitter knows just how on top of things when it comes to the players Nirav Pandya is. So I'll take his word for it. Yeah, that's what the report was. But it was a through and through, which means like it went into him and it came out of him. So, yikes! I just hope the kid's okay. He probably won't be playing for a couple weeks. I can tell you that much if he's got bullet wounds injuries. Yeah. So, well, let's not even that's not even something to even talk about right now. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. Yep.
Let's see what we got here. A couple more things, and then we'll probably jump out. Let's see here.
Well, I know it's too soon to say this. I mean, it's kind of. I'm not saying Ricky Purcell isn't here, so let's talk about this. But who do you feel more comfortable being our third receiver, Juwan Jennings or Cowen?
Oh, Juwan, he's proven it. Cowen is he'll if he's what we think he is, he'll find his way up that depth chart during the season. But like those three guys are locked in. Those guys are the horses that have gotten you there in the past. And I trust Aiyuk, Debo, and Juwan Jennings with I wouldn't say my life, but I trust them when it comes to how well they play and how good they are for Brock. My biggest concern right now, above everything, besides Trent Williams, is Ricky Pearsall. I just hope he's okay. I really don't care about anything else. But Trent Williams is important. You got to get the big dog in here, and hopefully Aaron Banks is good. We looks like we have a right guard for the future. Hopefully Pony is not just a preseason warrior and he can come out and play well in the regular season as well. But
and we can officially say that Elijah Mitchell is made out of glass, right?
I've said that last year, and I had people come after me.
It's crazy. Crazy. I literally said he might get injured this year.
Yeah, well, but it's funny that we drafted a guy in the 4th round and Isaac Garendo, and he's hurt now too. So
yeah,
he had a groin injury flare up again. So
Niners just can't
get, the Niners. Listen, we got J.P. Mason, we have Christian McCaffrey. I think his name is Patrick Taylor.
Yeah, Patrick Taylor's our third.
Jaguar, I think, and then Isaac Garendo. So the Niners have a pretty good running back room. I think the receiver room when Ricky Pearsall is healthy is really, really deep. You don't usually get receiver rooms like that where you have like, your starters and then another set of like 3 receivers that are actually decent, like the backups. I mean, Conley's a veteran. He's dependable. Cowing looks like he's got some quicks to make up for his lack of size. And then if Pearsall can ever just stay healthy, God bless him. I'm not even talking about the gunshot. I'm just talking about his health, football health. We don't even know what we're going to see in him. He looked great in camp early on. A lot of people were saying, but my whole thing is I hope Pearsall makes a full recovery. I hope we can get some real news after this stream is over. If I'm your guys, I don't really pay attention to any YouTuber or Twitter stars. Just go with your Mayokas and your Barrows, guys who have pull within the organization and have been covering the team a long time. If it's just some random person you never heard of, don't believe their tweet, because I'm starting to get different. If you look, it's been like he's shot in the shoulder, he's been shot in the back, he's been hit twice. Grant Cohen's reporting stuff. I just say,
Ian Rappaport just released the statement.
Okay.
What had happened? It just says, blah, 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 blah. Upon arrival, officers located 2 male subjects suffering from injuries. Officers rendered aid and medics transported both subjects to a local hospital. During the preliminary investigations, officers learned one of the subjects attempted to rob the victim, Ricky Purcell. During the attempted robbery, a physical altercation ensued. and both the suspect and victim were injured. The suspect is in custody and charges are pending at this time. All information is preliminary and more information will be provided as it becomes available. Media availability will be held this evening at SF General Hospital. Well, I guess the fight between him and the robber is true.
Okay.
That's the official report. Like it looks
There
like
you go.
a court report.
Nope.
Um,
I'm
and
telling you, man, you got to
that's
pay
Ian.
attention. Ian Rappaport.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
if you're
Ian
going to listen to your
Rappaport. So,
news, if you're going to get your news people, get it from the professionals. Don't get it from Travis King or freaking Grant Cohen or any of these other schlubs on freaking Twitter. Go with the top guys. Ian Rappaport is as good as a guy as you can freaking follow. It's right on. You can go look at the report yourself on Twitter, guys.
yeah,
Ian
it's
Rappaport.
right
He
there.
just put it's the official report. So there you go. Any other thoughts before we get out of here, man?
Just pray for Ricky and hope we get Trent and go Niners. I think week 1 we got to attack Aaron Rodgers just like we always have. Our defensive line has to just dominate that game. If our defensive line dominates, we'll win that game.
I
but
we
if,
got. Here's the thing, though. We have both of our backups are injured
yeah,
with different injuries. We had Leonard Floyd knee injury, and then we had our of course Gross Matos went down with something too. So I'm a little concerned about the edge on this team, the edge depth. I hope the 49ers are, if we're afloat come trade deadline. I would assume the Niners might go make a move for another pass rusher because it is a really thin group. Defensive tackle is a little hit up too. We had some injuries in the preseason as well, but prayers up for Ricky Parasol, everybody. Like I said, go get your news from the people that are professionals. Don't listen to anybody else. I'll be back here next week with me and I think Saturday might be the way the way it goes now, brother.
yeah,
Because
that
I
sounds good
work
to me.
till 8 o'clock on Friday, and I don't want to do a stream once I get home from work at 8. I just want to eat and go to
No,
bed. So,
I feel that.
um,
That's fine with me.
so I think it's going to go Mondays with Bash, Wednesdays with Raj, and Saturdays with my man James here. We
Boom.
got to get more people from Rochester, New York to start watching these streams. I don't know how we go about doing it. I don't know if there's a Facebook group or something. We got to get the representation of the people who live in Rochester who want to be. I would love for them to start joining these streams. I don't know how to go about it, but you know, somehow we got to make it work. I don't know if we got to go to like a Reddit message board or something and be like, "Yo, if you're a Niners fan and you live in Rochester, come watch the 585 Niner Game podcast." So, everybody, enjoy the rest of your evening, your Saturday night. I'm gonna go and make dinner. We will talk to you guys next Saturday. Preview the Monday night game. Take care,
Go
everybody.
Niners. All right.